right, and Brenda's gonna start us off.
All right, everyone. So once you get to this section of the application, if you have not created your account already, you want to go ahead and click on create an account and fill out the information that is in there. If you already have a login, go ahead and sign in so that you can continue on to the application. So one of the first things that you are going to be asked to answer are these questions here. So if you already have your profile set up already, you will be able to find this information under your extended profile information. And here is where we are going to be asking you, what degree or credential certificate are you applying for? So first year students, transfer students, you will be first year students, let me start there. You will be selecting first bachelor's degree, seeking your first degree. So that's what you're going to be answering. Now, second part of that number one question is, which of the following best describes your current educational status? So here's where you get to tell us if you are a graduating high school student, if you are transferring with an associate's degree, or if you're just simply transferring from a community college or a four-year institution. So make sure to select the option that best fits your situation. Again, make sure that you are selecting first bachelor's. Let us know where you're coming from in the second part of the question. And then the third part of the question is, if you are answering as a graduating high school senior, have you earned any college credits through a community college or university? So if you have taken dual enrollment courses with one of your local colleges or a university, this is where you get to let us know that yes, you have taken and earned credits actually from a college before. So you answer that. If you are a transferring student completing an associate's degree to transfer, an AAT or an AST awarded by a California community college, this is where you get to let us know. Then you go down to the other part of the question, what community college are you earning that degree from? So you get to look for your California community college. In this example, we're using College of the Desert. And then you let us know what associate's degree to transfer program you have completed. Let us know, listed on that section of the application. And then you will also be prompted to answer, will you receive a second ADT from a community college? And here's where you let us know. Yes, if you're completing two, no, if you're only completing one. And that is how you answer that section. If you're transferring simply from a community college with no associate's degree or from another four-year institution, you are going to be letting us know how many units will you have earned by the time you are pretty much by the end of the next spring semester. CSUSB only takes upper division transfer students who have completed 60 transferable semester units or more. So that is the section that the option you are going to be selecting here on this screen. And second question of this page here is if you are returning students. So if you were a CSUSB student before, you're coming back, completing applying for admissions again to the university, here's where you let us know if you are. Select yes. If you are not, if you're a new student, just select no. We want to know about your military status. So make sure to answer that question there, whatever best fits your section here. And then the fourth question I want to go ahead and highlight because a lot of students end up answering this question wrong. Here we are asking you if you will need a student visa. So this is mainly for international students. So if you are a student who is a domestic applicant, completed community college here, you want to go ahead and select no. Then we're going to be asking you, where is your permanent home? And in this case, we're giving you an example of someone who lives in California. So we're selecting California as our permanent home, state of home. So you answer those questions there, you go ahead and save the information and you continue on to adding a program. So if you selected all of those options correctly in the extended profile, you will have no problem looking up the degrees for Cal State San Bernardino. If you go ahead and type in San Bernardino, you will be able to see all of the undergraduate programs that CSUSB has to offer. So based on what major you're wanting to declare, you're gonna go ahead and look for your major, see which one is the one you want to apply for, and select your program. Now, if we have anyone here interested in the Palm Desert campus, this is where you get to let us know if you're interested in completing the program at PDC. How do you know which is a PDC program? Well, if you see location, and actually Lucia is hovering over that right now, you will see that the location is Palm Desert campus. That means that the major is available at PDC, so you can begin and complete the whole program here locally without having to travel to our other campus unless you choose to. But that is where you let us know what campus you want to attend and where you get to select your major. To select your major, you could simply click on that plus sign. If you are applying to an impacted major, you will be prompted to select an alternative major. So I encourage you to do so. Just in case you don't meet the admissions requirements for your first option, you can be considered for your second option. So just select that other program you are interested in applying. For example, here, sociology, and then you get to save this choice. After this, you will be able to continue on to my application, which will lead you to pretty much the base of the application. Here you will notice that we have 4 different quadrants that need to be completely completed in order for you to submit. The way you know that how each section is completed is if it's all greened out. If the quadrant, like for example, in personal information is completely greened out, that means that that section has been completed. So let's go ahead and look at some questions on the personal information quadrant. So we're not going to go through everything because a lot of this is, again, information that you can answer on your own, but we're just going to be going through some of the most frequently asked questions. So we've got a lot of questions here under the citizenship/residency information tab. So for these questions, you have to be very careful how you answer. The first part of the questions here is asking you about your citizenship. We want to know where is your country of citizenship. So in this example here, we are selecting that we are a US citizen. We click there, and so you select whichever one best fits your profile. So again, this section here, we are selecting US citizen. And if you're not that, then you're going to go ahead and select whatever fits your profile. If you were born outside of the US, you want to let us know where you were born, and I'll continue on with the application. So again, we're asking you where your citizenship is from. The second part of the question here, we're asking you about residency. Where is your home? Again, your permanent home, where is that at right now? So do you claim California residency? It has nothing to do with citizenship, is where you live. So if you claim California residency because you live here in the state of California, your home is here, then you want to go ahead and select, yes, I claim California residency. And then the second part of the question they're going to be asking, we're going to be asking you, have you lived in California continuously since birth? If you have, you select yes. And if you have not, then you select no. And you let us know when your stay here in the state of California began. So it's, again, 2 different questions: citizenship on the top, residency on the bottom. And again, select whatever best fits your profile. If you claim that you have no you do not have US citizenship, here you let us know. The second part of that is going to prompt you to list your country of citizenship. So we're going to go ahead and look for your country. Let's say you are from the country of Mexico. You select Mexico. And if you were born outside of the US, what year did you move to the US? So when did you arrive here in the United States? So we want you to list it. If you arrived here in the year 2002, you enter that number there, and then you continue on to the next section there. Do you claim California residency? Again, if you are living in the state of California, this is your permanent home, then you are going to be selecting that yes, you are a resident. Have you lived in the state of California continuously since birth? And you will be answering no, because you were born in Mexico. So when did your present stay in California begin? So this is where you let us know when you came to the state of California. The year might be the same, again, from the top to the bottom, if comparison to the top to the bottom one. So just let us know, again, the date that you began staying in our lovely state of California. So you enter your date, 11/11/2002, save and continue, and you go on to the next section. If you have any questions as we're going through the application, go ahead and list them in the Q&A. We have our team here ready to answer those questions. So if you have more detailed questions in regards to these sections here, please feel free to, again, send in your questions through the Q&A, and we'll be answering those as they come in. The other section we want to go ahead and cover is other information. So when you get to this section, we are going to be asking you for a social security number. It's not required for admissions purposes, but if you have one, please go ahead and list your social security number. It will make it easier for us to, gather all of your information, create your profile if you do. And you must, again, if you do have one, please go ahead and list it. You have to list it. If you don't have a social security number, that is completely okay. Again, it is not needed for admissions purposes, but if you are an international student, undocumented student, or any other exceptions, may not have social security numbers, you go ahead and select this box here that I acknowledge that I do not have a U.S. social security number, and you continue on with the application. The next section here, we're going to be asking you for your student statewide ID. This is not your school ID, but you can also find it on your transcript. So if you can ask your counselors where to find this California statewide student ID number, and then you go ahead and list it in this section here. Again, this is usually located on your school transcripts. So look for that there. The next question is going to be language proficiency. So what is your first language? We want to go ahead and know what's your first language. In this case, we are going to be selecting Spanish. So a lot of us, our first language was Spanish. And so you're going to go ahead and list that there. You're going to go and continue on with the rest of the questions. If you're a military dependent, you're going to go ahead and let us know here. And save that information there. Academic standing, where we want to know if you are in good standing with the last school that you attended. If you are, go ahead and select yes. We hope that you are, and then continue on to the next section of the application. So again, go ahead and answer those questions as best as you can. They're your personal information questions, so you're the best person to know if you're filling it out correctly or not. The next section we're going to go ahead and look at, the next tab, is financial and parental information. So when we get here, if you're going to go ahead and read these bullet points here, make sure to read them all, not just jump to the questions, because we're going to be asking you questions in regards to those bullets. We know we want to get this application done as soon as possible, but please, please, please read these bullets, because based on what your answers are, you're going to be answering the questions here below. So do any of these statements apply to you? If none of the statements apply to you, then you're going to go ahead and select none. But if one or more apply to you, then you're going to be selecting one or more statements apply to me. It is very important that you answer these accurately, because based on what your answer is how the rest of the questions are going to be asked. So make sure to select the one that best fits your situation. Here, if you are a dependent, we are going to be asking you the total size of your parents' household in the year of 2020. So one of the questions that we are getting a lot is, what information are you looking for? 2021, 2019. We are asking for 2020, and it states it right there on the application. So this is a family of 3. So you're going to go ahead and select that. And then the next information that you're going to be reporting is your parents' adjusted gross income for the year again of 2020. This is the income your parents report on the federal tax return. It is very important that you answer this as accurately as possible, because this is also going to be used to determine your fee waiver. So make sure you do not add any extra zeros in there. Make sure that everything is correct, and to check with your parents just to make sure that that information that you are entering is correct. If your parents have any untaxed income or benefits for the year of 2020, this is where you let us know. But if they have nothing, just go ahead and enter 0. Something else that I want to highlight, let me finish this. Well, if you scroll up, Lucia, I know a lot of students sometimes have questions on how to answer these sections here, but if you scroll up a little more towards the top there, applicant help center. So if you ever get confused on how to answer these questions, click on that tab there. Each section is going to have an applicant help center, and they're going to tell you how to answer those questions. So if you get stuck and you have no one to ask, please go ahead and refer to that first. That should help you out. But if you don't have, if that doesn't help you out either, then go ahead and ask for help. Come to another session, give us a call, ask your counselor. But read this. This is very helpful information that will help you fill out that information. So if we can go back down again, that tab's at the top of the application. The next question down here is, are you interested in campus housing? Should space be available? So this is just, we're asking you if you're interested in campus housing. This is not you applying to campus housing. It's just letting us know that you're interested in campus housing. So you let us know there, yes or no. So then you go down to the next section. You want to make sure to answer these questions as accurately as possible, especially if you're applying to the Educational Opportunity Program, and you'll see why in a bit. But you want to go ahead and let us know what is your parent or guardian's highest level of education, parent 1 and parent 2. So this is where you let us know where parent 1, what their level of education was, and parent 2, that second section. You save, continue on to the next section, and that is how you complete personal information. And then on next, we're going to go to academic history, and I'm going to hand it over to our lovely Lucia so she can go over that section with you. Again, if you have questions, send them in through the Q&A, and we'll be here to answer those.
Thank you, Brenda. So we definitely want to spend some time on the academic history section, because this is often where we get questions and errors. And as a university, this is what we're looking at initially to screen you if you are eligible as a first-time freshman or upper division transfer student. So we will go over both information. And then again, like Brenda said, if you have questions, please put it in the Q&A. Our staff is available to answer questions. So all students, no matter if you're a high school or transfer, will be entering in their high school. We need to know that you graduated from high school or have equivalent. And so it's really easy to add your high school. You're just going to select add. And I know we're so used to being on our smart devices and type. Some of us could type really fast. You really want to make sure that you take your time when you're entering in things, because it will autofill some information, and you want to make sure you're selecting the right option. So here, easiest thing to do is really search by city. And so I'll put in Redlands and then school in Redlands. So I want to select that. And then here I would look at all the schools, select my option. You're definitely going to need unofficial transcripts in front of you as a high school student to fill out this part of the application. And then again, as transfer students, you're going to just put when you graduated as well. So dates attended. So you'll go ahead and select that as well. And then most schools are on semesters. So you get 2 grades for the school year. And then you would save this information. I already have the high school entered, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. And then you're going to put your graduation status. So if you're in high school, you're going to put I have or I will graduate with my high school diploma. And then again, you're selecting the school and the month and the year. And so if you're graduating with the equivalency, or you will not receive a high school diploma, you're going to put that information here as well. So your select your option, and then again, you're going to want to save. If you're a high school, especially works with California colleges too, and you've started your application on California colleges, you can either launch it from the California colleges website, or you can, here is where you can have those applications merge here. And so you're able to do that if you've used California colleges for your high school. Okay. The second part, academic history. This is just asking if you've attended a high school outside of the United States. So it's really just one question on here. And then only high school students that put that they're graduating high school senior with college credit will have this portion available to them on the application. And then as transfer students, you will definitely be selecting your colleges. And so you're going to add a college just like you would, you added a high school. So again, I always search by city. So San Bernardino Valley. Did you obtain, or are you planning to obtain a degree from here? So you would put yes or no. A degree is not required to transfer, but if you're an associate degree to transfer, so we'll go with that one for now. Yes, degree info. If you're completing in progress with your degree and you're going to complete it next semester, then you're go ahead and put degree in progress. If your degree has already been awarded, then you're going to select that option. And then again, degree type. So associates of art, associates of science. When will you earn this? Month and year. What program is your associate degree? Most associate degrees don't have a minor, so you don't have to answer that question. A lot of students are getting multiple degrees. And so if you're getting multiple degrees, then you can put a second option here as well. Again, we are asking your term type for your college, and most colleges are semester. And then we are asking, what is your tuition status? This kind of just helps us as far as clarify your residency. So if you're paying in-state tuition as well. And then when did you start? Just like you did in high school, entering in for high school, when did you start? And you're check this if you're going to end in spring, but if you have already completed, then you'll go ahead and put semester, month, and year here and save. Again, I already have this information in, so I'm just going to go ahead and close this out. I put that I attended San Bernardino Valley College from August 2008 while I'm still attending. Okay. And then, so again, this section here, high school coursework, this will only be available for high school students. As transfer students, you do not have to fill out this section. So you'll click on that. And this is where, again, you need your high school transcript in front of you, and you're going to be entering in all your high school courses. I've already started this section of the application, and so this information is already here. It's important to note that you will only be listing your A through G college prep classes. So we don't need to know about like PE, office aid, things like that. So only your college prep high school. And the best way, and I'm going to show you a website that's going to be very helpful too when you're entering in your high school courses. Every high school is different. And so some transcripts will have a CP on them. Some will have a P for college prep. So it just really depends. If you're not quite sure, I will share a website in a bit, or my colleagues, if they can put it in the chat, for the UC A through G list. And that's where you can look up your high school. If it's in California, their approved A through G list. And I'll show you what that looks like in a bit. So again, you're going to only list your college prep high schools. You're going to want to start typing it in and allow it to autofill again and select your option. So I've already listed 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. Don't forget 12th grade. We know you don't have grades, but we need to know what you're taking. You're in English. We hope you're in math. We need to know what you're taking. I will show you how to enter in that semester, your senior year, just so you can see. And then if you've taken summer school, you're going to want to add summer school. So I'll show you we'll add a summer school right now. So add summer, grade level. So let's say I took this in between 11th and 12th. You can pick either one. It's usually the year you're going into, but 12th grade's fine. It's already populated my school. If you've attended more than one high school, you are going to want to enter that in on the high school portion. And then you're going to want to put the year, click the green check mark, and then you're going to enter in the class. And it goes in by order. So then now I have to look to see it's right here. So again, I'm just going to start typing in a class. It will hopefully start populating and our select my option. It's already going to select the course type for you based off your selection. None means college prep. It's kind of confusing, but none is college prep. If it's an AP, IB, or honors course, again, it will autofill that based off your selection. And then you're going to go ahead and enter in your grades here, and then click the green check mark once everything's entered in. I took one summer school class, so I will go ahead and leave that there. Now I'm going to enter in my senior year. So I'm going to go back and add grade level, senior year, select the school year. Again, it's selecting, it pushes it all the way back to the top, and then again, start typing in. So let's say I took expository writing. So I want to look, how did it show up on my transcript? So is it ERWC? Nope. Let me try. There you go. I just start typing out expository reading and writing. My selection pops up. So I'm going to select that. It is a college prep course, so it's none. And instead of grades, I'm going to put in progress for fall and plan for spring. Okay, because I don't have my grades yet. Even if I have like a progress report or anything like that, we want to know the semester grades. And so I'll select that. Then I'll start entering in my next class. Let's say I'm taking AP statistics right now. And again, because it's an AP class, it's pre-populated that. And I'm going to put in progress planned, and so on with the rest of my classes. So let's say I'm in Iveth. So I'm going to add my Iveth 12th grade here. And again, in progress planned. And then, of course, I'm in government and economics as a high school student. So just start top. And here, this school has their American government and economics together. Sometimes these are separate courses. One may be in your social sciences and one may be in your elective. If it's just a semester course, then I'll put whatever semester I'm taking it, I'll put in progress. And if it's just a semester course, I'll put no course for the second semester, or vice versa. If it's, if I'm taking it in spring and then planned. So some students will put in progress. That kind of tells us that you're taking both semesters right now, which can be possible if you're graduating early, but spring is in the future and it's planned. And so you want to put planned for your in progress coursework. All right. And then once I have everything entered in, then I want to go down and save and continue to the next section. Now, as a transfer student or as a college student with, so as a transfer student, you're entering your college courses here. And as a high school student with college credit, this is where you're going to enter in your high school. Similar to as what we did for the high school. So we'll go ahead and edit this and take a look. So here, again, you want transcripts in front of you. You don't, I know I'm just kind of entering in whatever right now, but you want to be going based off your transcripts. And so you want to put your courses, your course code, title, subject. A lot of this gets pre-populated. So again, we'll show that. And then your grade as well. So you're going to want to enter that all in. A blue check mark will appear if it's a transferable course. So if it's a California community college, a lot of that is pre-populated. If you have gone out of state or private schools, you're mainly going to have to input everything in because since it's not a California community college. So let's go ahead and add a semester. So I'm going to, let's see. So I'll add a semester. And so let's say I'm going to enter in fall. Maybe I'm taking classes in fall. And so I'll put fall 2021. A lot of students get stuck on this question like academic status. You could put whatever, but generally you're a freshman or sophomore level because that's the community college level, freshman, sophomore level courses. If you're at a university, it may be a higher academic status, but mostly that's what it is. Don't get hung up on that question. We don't really check that very much. Again, if you have grade, you're going to put completed because then you're enter in grades. But if you're in progress, if you're taking it in fall or spring, you're going to put in progress plan, save. And then now I'm going to go ahead and enter in my fall 21. So here it is, unlike the high school that brings it up to the top, the transfer is at the bottom. And so now that I have the high school or have the semester here, I'm going to add a course. And then again, you just want to start entering in the course. So let's say I'm in a criminal justice course. So at the community college, it's called Administration of Justice. So I'll just start typing it in, select my course. Again, it pre-populates course title and credits, your units. And then you select the subject. Just think of the broad subject. So here it would be Administration of Justice. Sometimes if you're picking Spanish, it would be foreign language. So you do have to pick the subject and you have to enter in everything before you can save this information. And I'm not going to enter in grades because it's again in progress. So I don't have my grades yet. And so the check mark already appears because it is transferable and I am taking classes at San Bernardino Valley. So if I'm going to continue to add classes, I'll then add the next one and so on. And then I'll go ahead and save once I've done entering in that semester. Again, if I'm taking spring classes, I'm going to put what I plan to take for spring. Some students get hung up on, well, I told you I was taking Administration of Justice 105, but I couldn't get into that class. So I'm taking another class in that place. On Cal State Apply, you can edit your classes in January for transfer students. But the main thing is for Cal State San Bernardino, we are going to ask for partial transcripts that are going to be due February 15th. And if any changes happen with your spring schedule, then we will see that on the official transcript that you will be required to submit by the February 15th deadline. And if you're a student that's going to be done at the end of fall or already done with all your courses, then you don't have to enter in the in progress or planned. It's important to know as a transfer student, you must have everything completed at the end of spring semester. So your upper division transfer requirements, your 60 units, what we call the golden four, also known as the basic skills. And if you're applying to an impacted major, those impaction requirements as well. Okay, so but let's say I'm done entering this in, then I'll go back to college coursework. And before I save this section, maybe I want to know what my units are and what my GPA are. So I'll go ahead and click this, calculate my transfer GPA. And now based off what I've entered in, it's going to calculate everything completed. So nothing, it's not going to include in progress or planned coursework, but everything completed and my GPA. So I'm applying as a high school student with transfer credit. But if I am solely a transfer student, I need to be closer to the 60 units. Again, I need to have that completed at the end of spring in order to be eligible for fall. We do not allow the summer to complete admissions requirements due to impaction. Okay. And if you have questions about that, we really do recommend to schedule an appointment with one of us or one of our admissions counselors. Okay. And so I'll scroll down. And if I've completed entering in everything for my transcripts, again, I want to enter in all colleges. So if I attended San Bernardino Valley and Crafton, yes, they're in the same school district, but they are two separate community colleges. So then I have to enter in Crafton. Maybe I've attended RCC and Moreno Valley and Norco. While it all shows up on one transcript, I need to enter in all of those community colleges. Okay, so you want to make sure all of your coursework is entered in for the colleges or universities you've attended. And once you're done with that section, you can always preview or go back and edit. It's important to know once you submit, you can't go back and make any corrections. So you want to just make sure it's as accurate as possible before you submit. And then I'm going to go ahead and save my transcript and continue to the next section. It's important to know, high school students, we are not requiring the SAT or ACT this year for 2022, for fall 2022. If you have high school or transfer students, if you have AP, IB, or CLEP scores for college credit, you can add that in the section. But if not, then you basically just go to the next section. A through G matching screen is only going to be available for high school students. So as a transfer student, you will not have this section on your application. But this is a very important section, high school students. This is where you're going to check to make sure you've entered in everything correctly and you're meeting the requirements. So here, A through G requirements, and it says right here next to it how many years need to be completed. So I need to make sure that what I've entered in has matched or exceeds what's required. Okay, so 3, I have 5 years of English, and that's because I took English at San Bernardino Valley too. I have biological sciences, physical sciences. I entered in an AP English, which I'll go back, AP Spanish, which I'll go back and show you. So it did validate my lower level Englishes, my 1 year of visual performance art, and I have quite a bit of college prep electives due to Iveth and taking college courses. So, and it calculates my GPA for me automatically as a high school student. So you can also update the section, or if you want to double check to make sure that the courses are assigned to the right A through G requirements. So here you'd click update, and as you can see, it does pre-populated if you allow the application to populate it and you select your options. So I just want to make sure all of this looks good. See right here, integrated math. This is just showing the validation that this validates the lower levels 2 and 1, which I also took. So I'm just, again, going through and making sure everything is accurate. If it doesn't show up as an A through G, then I can tell the application what it will be. And it's, again, it's right here on the side that's kind of cut off right now. And then here's again my my freshman year. So but these requirements can also count. So let's see. Let's say psychology. So if I wanted to, these are G's, which are electives. So I could put electives here as counting for electives. So you can, this is students, especially the middle college student and the high school student has a lot of college credit. This is where you're going to assign your college credit to an A through G, especially if it's validating that, if you did not take that in high school. So this is where you want to make sure that you're assigning the A through G to the college course that you took. Again, transfer students, you're not going to have this section available on your application. But here I also wanted to show my AP. So I didn't take foreign language. I only took AP Spanish, but the AP Spanish is validating my lower level Spanish. So I feel confident everything looks good here. So I'm going to go ahead, save and continue, go back to summary. Now everything's check marked in my quadrant 2. And so everything's green and I'm ready to go on with the application. And now we're going to move on to supporting information. And I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Iveth.
Thank you so much, Lucia. Okay, so thank you. All right, we're gonna go over the supporting information section, which would cover our EOP application here. So the first section here, you can see the educational programs and work experience. We ask about your involvement in high school, such as AVID, if you've been part of Upward Bound, Talent Search, the Puente Project, Mesa Project Gear Up. If you have also been part of foster youth supporting services, that's very important, especially if you are applying to our EOP program and wish to be considered for our Renaissance Scholars program, which is tailored particularly for our current or former foster youth. The reason as to why we also ask for work information and these extracurricular activities and hours is because for admission purposes, we are utilizing what's called the MFA score. This MFA score will be utilized to determine your admission eligibility as a first-time freshman. And in order to create this score, we will be utilizing your GPA along with your A through G courses and all of these additional questions that we ask. So for example, if you have work information, and then depending on the hours that you include, we would be providing you or allocating additional points towards your total MFA's score, which as mentioned will be utilized for admission purposes. So we are opting out for including these questions because we are no longer utilizing our SAT or ACT scores, again, for admission purposes only. Go ahead and save and continue. All right, so this next section covers our EOP application. So EOP stands for the Education Opportunity Program. We have a similar program in all of our 23 campuses, and our mission is to provide access, and again, opportunity, right, for minority, historically low income students within our area. We provide a vast array of resources such as counseling, tutoring, mentoring. We have a grant that's also allocated for our first year students. And honestly, we're just a supporting program on campus trying to ensure that you have a successful college career at Cal State San Bernardino and beyond that as well. So if you are interested in being part of our program, know that we are an income/admission-based program. Okay, so the only opportunity that you have to apply to our program is by the time that you're applying to our university, which is very important because sometimes we have students that want to apply to our program once they are students at our campus. And unfortunately, by that time, you wouldn't be eligible anymore. So right now is the time to take advantage of it. And I really do encourage you to apply. So this is what our section of the application looks like. Everything is embedded in this application, and whatever information you include in here is going to be sent out to any other CSUs that you apply to. Okay, so that's also very important. Let's see here. So I do encourage you to maybe set aside some time, perhaps like an hour or so, for you to complete the EOP application altogether and then submit your entire CSUSB application. The reasoning as to why is because we really do take applications as they come in. So I would truly advise you not to wait until December 15 to complete your EOP application. If possible, please apply right now in the month of November. You have the option to also say, hey, I'm not interested in applying to EOP. So if you select no, then all the questions will kind of like crunch together. You won't The questions will not be prompted if you do select the no option, and you would be able to move on with your application. However, as mentioned, if we select yes, then our questions are prompted. So have you attended or been part of another CSU EOP program? So that's also very important because, again, we want to take that into consideration. And EOP, we have this motto saying once EOP, always EOP. So if you have been part of EOP at another CSU, then please let us know. All right, so we go over to our family information. We ask about where you plan to live, if you have any siblings that are part of K through 12, part of college, if you have any siblings that have also completed a bachelor's degree, and what languages are spoken at home. The next question is very important. We ask about your family's history of receiving any public assistance programs and benefits. So this is within a 10-year period, as you can see within the question. The reasoning as to why is because we are an income-based program, as mentioned, and we want to make sure that we really do service students that come from historically low income households. And yeah, that's the reason as to why. If you can please move forward, please. Thank you. All right, we're going over to the next section. And this is where our parent and guardian information is listed. This information is utilized because, again, we want to determine whether or not you're a first-generation college student, but also on the income basis of it. So we ask about your parent or guardian's information. So your parent guardian's name, as well as their occupation, the number of years within that occupation, and you are only required to include one parent or guardian. Second one is optional. But if you select yes, then the second one's information will then be prompted. Go ahead, Lucia. All right, so this is where we have our financial status. It's very important for you to note that 2022 hasn't happened, right? And taxes for 2021 haven't happened either. So in these sections, we're only asking for estimates for at least parent one. These estimates would be for whatever is expected to be the total income for 2021, and then that would be what you would include in this section. We always verify the information by the completion of the California Dream Act or the FAFSA application, which is very important, right, to complete now, since it's open. Applications open October 1st, and the deadline for both of these applications, it's March 2nd. And lastly but not least, here we go. We ask about total household size. So that is how we determined whether or not you meet our income eligibility. And in the chat, I will go ahead and include our EOP income guidelines. Now, if you are independent of parental or guardian support, which would mostly fall for students over the age of 24 or those students that are coming in as transfer students, then it will be asking you for your income information. And that's about it for this section. All right, next up we have our EOP biographical questions, where I really do advise for you to please answer these questions and not include NA as we did here in our sample application. But please elaborate on these questions. We really do receive thousands of applications. And honestly, if you write one sentence per question, that's just not going to cut it. We need at least a paragraph per question because we really do put a lot of weight onto this section when making our admission decisions to our program. So the first question asks about your family's economic background. Please let us know of any challenges if 2020 happened, 2021 happened, and that had a big impact in your family's financial situations, and please let us know. Additionally, please let us know why you intend to go to college, right? We are a program that not only supports our students, but we want students that really do want to be in these spaces and be the first ones to attend college in their family and, pursue their careers and their personal goals. So let us know what those are. Let us know if you participated in any extracurricular activities, so on and so forth. If you participating in tutoring, or if you weren't able to attend tutoring on campus and your grades really struggled within one semester, because again, COVID happened, and maybe your grades fell significantly because of everything that's going out in the world. So if that were the case, please let us know. Again, all questions and all sections are required in order for you to move forward and in order for you to be considered for a program. Thank you. And lastly, but not least, we have our EOP recommendation section. So for EOP, we are requiring 2 letters of recommendation. So we don't need any letters of recommendation in actual like handwriting or emails. Everything is part of the CSU Apply application. And on your part as a student, all you need to do is include your recommender's first name, last name, email address. And as you can see here, you're able to include a little personal message to your recommender. Your recommenders actually have until January 31st. So please disregard this grayed out date. The only reason as to why it provides the 2-week notice from the time that you complete this section is because the system wants your recommenders to kind of hurry it up and send their letters of rec as soon as possible, which is ideal. But technically, they have until the 31st of January to submit their letters of rec. Now, who can be your recommender? So it cannot be a family member. Ideally, it would be a teacher or a counselor. It doesn't have to be someone who's a current teacher or counselor of yours. It can be someone that you had as a teacher or a counselor in previous years. But those would be your ideal recommenders. Worst case scenario, and you say, Iveth, I don't, I can't find someone who is able to write this letter for me. Everybody is really busy. Then we can look into maybe somewhere that you have completed community service hours. Maybe a current or a former employer may also be a good recommender for you, especially for our transfer students. And that would be all. So once you click save this EOP recommendation request, your recommenders will be receiving an email on behalf of our application. They simply answer the questions that are prompted, and then your recommendation is automatically attached to your application, and that will be all. We wouldn't need any additional information unless we contact you, unless I give you a call or an email asking for additional information from you. And with that, I will pass it along. That was the EOP application section. Thank you.
All right, so now on to that last section that we're going to be covering today, which is the program materials quadrant 4. So this section, if you are applying as your first-time freshman or even a transfer student to a non-impacted major, might just simply have additional information that explains to you a little bit more about the program. So just go ahead and read it there. If you are applying to an impacted major, you might have some additional questions in this quadrant. For one of the tabs, it's going to read again more information about the program. But now if you take a look at that section where Lucia is hovering over questions, you want to go ahead and click that section there, read the information that is listed in there, and then we're going to be asking you a few more questions. So if you're applying to the impacted major as a first-time student, you want to go ahead and answer that question that is asked to you there. If you're an upper division transfer student, you want to go ahead and select that section, the second option there. So answer the one that best fits your profile. If one of them does not apply to you, if you look at the drop down, there's going to be an option for you to select not applicable. So you want to go ahead and select that section. So this question does not apply to me. I'm a transfer student, or vice versa. So again, answer the questions as it best fits you in your profile. Answer them, go ahead and save that information, and then you continue on to the next section. Save and continue, and you will see that you have pretty much entered everything. So you can check back to the home base here and see that everything has been greened out for you. This means that you are ready to submit. So you click on submit application, and you will see that you have 2 applications in progress listed there on the screen. The next thing you want to go ahead and check is see if you qualified for that fee waiver. So based on the information that we entered in this application, here this is letting us know that we were given 4 fee waivers, so 4 Cal State applications for free. So that means that you can submit 4 without having to pay out of pocket. If you did not qualify for the fee waiver, each application is $70. So in this example here, the cost for 2 applications is $140. So go ahead and click on submit all, continue on to submitting the method of payment, and continue on with those options there. But one of the things that you are going to be asked is to review the information in each application for the application, just to make sure that everything was entered correctly, accurately. You want to go ahead and make sure that if you're going to be applying for more Cal State applications, you are selecting the programs now, because once you submit, those quadrants that we just filled out will lock. So just make sure that you are turning in the applications that you want to turn in, and then you can go ahead and click submit all.
All right, thank you, Brenda. I'm not going to submit because this is my sample application, and I already accidentally submitted my high school sample application. So, but like Brenda says, you're just going to review, and warnings may pop up, like just messages in case you need to go back and check anything that maybe the application is saying that, hey, you might want to go back and check this. So that's really, but then there's another submit button. So it's important to know that you'll get a long confirmation number at the very end when you completely submit, but payment is due at the time of submitting the application or the fee waiver. And again, if you're granted the fee waiver, you can apply up to 4 Cal States. If not, it is $70 per campus. And again, as we've mentioned, please make sure everything is as accurate as possible before you submit, because you can't go back and make any corrections once it's submitted. I did see some questions in the Q&A, so I do want to go back to explain something for transfer students. And that's why oftentimes when students don't understand something on the application, or like, why am I having to fill out this section? It really doesn't pertain to me. The first thing you always want to do is to go back and check your extended profile, because this prompts the application. This tells us what type of student you are. And so based off this, it's going to prompt what applications sections are available to you. So again, in this example, I could show both information. I was applying as a high school student with college credit. So I would to show both information. But what I realized is that general ed, what we call the Golden 4 basic skills, was not available because I wasn't a transfer student. So I just want to go back and show you that information as a transfer student. So I'm going to select these questions here. So again, it can prompt the application for me. Save that. Save and continue. But now it is going to change stuff on my application. So now I'm not ready to submit. I'll have to go back and check things. But again, I just want to show now the general education information is available on here, which we call the Golden 4 the basic skills. So this is going to be your English composition, your speech communication, your critical thinking, and your college level math. As an upper division transfer student, you must have 60 units. the golden 4, and a qualifying GPA. If there's an impacted major, then again, additional requirements. So here it's going to pull some of the classes for me. Again, I didn't enter in everything, so it didn't pull some of those courses. So oral communication. But as an upper division transfer student, I need to make sure that I have this information entered into my application, because if not, I am not going to qualify for admissions. Okay, so I do have some speech classes here, but not specifically speech communication. But as you can see in A3 critical thinking, it pulled my critical thinking class. And so if I were to go submit, and as an upper division transfer student, the warnings that would have showed up, or the possible errors, would be for me to go back and check my general education courses. So this is going to be for oral communication. This is going to be your public speaking, interpersonal communication, small group. It depends on your school, but this is going to be where the majority of the class was public speaking. Okay. And again, I don't have an example entered on here, but for San Bernardino Valley, that's going to be like comm studies. Why can I not think of it at the top of my head right now? Like 100. But again, it will be what we call the golden 4. So it should be in your ed plan. You should be familiar with what these classes are. These are going to be your English. So your written communication, this is going to be your English composition class. So your English writing class. Again, I don't have an example, but for Valley, it would be English 101 here. Okay, so this is where I definitely want to go back to the application and say, oh my gosh, I've missed something and I need to go in and add that in. Because if I submit, I am pretty much going to get denied if I'm applying as an upper division transfer without entering in this information. Okay, so that's going to English composition. There's generally like 1 or 2 classes that can count for that. AP classes, AP scores, IB scores, CLEP scores can also count as this if I'd entered them in. But maybe I am a student that took AP and I didn't enter it in, and that's why it's not showing up. So I want to go back and enter in those AP scores. Critical thinking often gets confused as English course. It could be an English course, but it really just depends. A lot of time this is going to be, on this example, I do have it, and it's argumentation and debate. So argumentation, debate, logic, where the majority of the course was critical thinking and research and writing. That's going to be what a critical thinking course is generally. So like at San Bernardino Valley, there's many options for this course. Comm Studies 125, English 102, Philosophy 102, or 103, or Read 102. So again, it depends on your college. The California Community College, it's very clear on what these courses are. Okay, so check with your counselors. But again, if you're entering everything in, it's going to pull these classes for you like it did in the example for critical thinking. Okay, so again, just make sure everything is entered in. And then this is going to be my college level math course. I don't have a college level math entered it in, but this is going to be college algebra or higher. Okay, so this is not going to be intermediate algebra or elementary algebra at the community college. Well, I should enter those in on my application and make sure it's not checkmarked, because those are non-transferable courses. At San Bernardino Valley, this would be Math 102 or higher. Okay, so this is what our basic skills are, our golden 4. On the application, for some reason, they're called general ed, which is kind of confusing because it is part of general ed in the big picture of your bachelor's degree. All students must complete general ed, and these 4 main classes every student needs to complete, no matter what the major is. Unless you're, what is it, computer science, then you could opt out of critical thinking, but you want to check with us or check with your community college. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that because from questions in the Q&A, I realized that didn't pop up on the application because I was applying as a high school student. The other thing I want to share, and please put, because we are ending our application workshop for today, it is recorded. It will be on our website. soon, so you can always go back and refer, but please put your last minute questions in there so we can answer and get to them. Again, I see a lot of our staff, thank you, answering those questions. If we need to answer questions some live, we can do so as well. But the last thing I want to show is that A through G approved list for your school, like where to find that. What does that look like? And so now I'm going to share my screen. I know the staff put it in the chat earlier, so if we can put that in there again, and I'll just share my screen. And here for a California school, you can enter in your school here. So again, I was showing examples of Redlands High School. So I just put in the city, and then I would find my options. So Redlands High School, course list. And now this is my A through G college prep course list, approved one for my high school. And so this would help me as a high school student to enter in my courses and make sure I'm entering in the correct courses. We also realize that sometimes it shows up different on your transcripts. And so you're like, this course looks like this on my transcript, but how am I entering this in? So you can always click on the course, and then it's going to show you how it should show up on your transcript. So that's why I said with this one, a lot of students are looking for ERWC when they're entering in their senior year English experience. But it looks like this on the transcript. But as you can see, when I was entering into the application, it populated once I put in expository, once I started typing that in. Okay, so this is where you can also check that too. The other thing is sometimes classes are offered a certain year and then it's not offered the following year. So you can also go back and look at a different school year, because maybe, especially like with visual arts, maybe something changed and something from my freshman year is no longer on there, but it was approved when I took it. So you can also change the year to double check on that. And like I said, it has all your A through G categories listed here. So your social sciences, your English, your math, your sciences with lab, language other than English, and visual performance arts, and your college prep elective. So oftentimes students will say, well, I was told this was a college prep elective. This is the section you really want to check to make sure that it wasn't approved college prep elective when you took it. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful. I did see questions pop up in the Q&A with this, and I wanted to show you what it looks like. But again, only California schools will be on here for high school. And for transfer students, it's important to know that it is pulling from the Assist website. If you're familiar with assist.org, that is where it is pulling your college courses from too. So hopefully your community college has an updated course list, transferable list on assist.org, because that's where it's pulling from for that part of the application when you're entering in your college coursework. So we hope this session was helpful. Again, recordings will be on. We have 2 more Cal State Apply workshops coming up. One, I believe, next week for transfer students. And then another one in December, because the priority deadline for Cal State Apply is November 30th. However, Cal State San Bernardino, we've extended our deadline to December 15th for fall 2022. We do recommend, if you're applying for a different term other than fall, that you come back to a workshop specifically for that term, because the application does change a bit every year. All right, so again, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope this was helpful. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, outreach team. Thank you, Iveth, for helping out. And again, recording will be on our, actually last thing I will show is our website, where to find all this information. And if one of my colleagues can please put the website in the chat so you all have it. And so the last thing I'll share today is where to find these amazing sessions we're doing, as well as the recordings. So I'm on our outreach website, go to Future Yotes and chat with the counselor. These are great sessions to come. This is question driven. We don't have a presentation scheduled. We don't record. Chat with the counselor or how at a YOTE, which is our virtual student panels. So if you want to hear from other students, this is a great virtual session to attend and hear from current CSUSB students and get advice and, you know, just know what it's like to be a CSUSB student and attend our Palm Desert campus as well. So these are question driven. We do not record these sessions. We want students to be comfortable of where to, you know, just to ask questions. Our highlights presentations, these are recorded, and we team up with various departments on campus. And so our last one for fall will be with financial aid and scholarship. So this is a great session. Your register here, we will record, but it's not going to be a step-by-step guide on filling out the FAFSA, but it's going to be general information, how FAFSA works here at Cal State, and then hopefully get information for those workshops to help fill out the FAFSA and the California Dream application. So that's on December 7th from 4 to 5 p.m. and you register here. Like I said, our Cal State Apply workshops, we've started these since early October. And so we have one on the 16th solely for upper division transfer students. So we're not going to spend time going over the high school information. And then we have our last one on December 9th, which will be a combined session like today. And if you've missed any of these sessions, then you're welcome to watch the recordings for CSUSB highlights or our Cal State Apply workshops. And again, thank you for joining today. Good luck with your applications. Please reach out if you have any questions. Before you get application help, we do ask that you attend a session like today, watch the recordings, and then if you need to schedule an appointment for some application help, then we would be available to do that. But do what you can on your own, because this is a lot of information to go over in an appointment. So do what you can on your own, then come for an appointment for your specific questions so we can get you help and help you submit. So, all right. Again, thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye,
Have a good evening.
everyone.
Thanks for joining. Good luck on those apps.